The theory of resistant enzyme diseases is resistant enzyme are enzyme isolate from bacteria that recognize specified sequence in DNA and then cut the DNA to produce fragments that's called resistant fragment. Resistant enzymes play a very important role in the construction of recombinant DNA molecule as is done in gene cloning experiments. Another application of resistant enzyme is to map the location of resistant site in DNA. They are materials that use in buffer solution pecan R plasmid, paraplasmid, resistant enzyme, and distilled water. The pipette equipment is P2 pipette, P20 pipette, P200 pipette, and 1000 pipette, and also P2 type box, P20 type box, P200 type box, and P1000 type box. The empty tube is 4 plus tube, 4 negative tube, K plus tube and K negative tube. Other equipment is centrifuge, trash, fatting tube rack, freezer, water bath, and ice bath bucket. Now we are going to the procedure or resistant enzyme dishes is, first, I want to set the water bath to 37 degrees Celsius of temperature. The second step is I take the P20 micropipette and set the volume to 4 nanoliter, and then I open the P20 type box to extract the tip and close. Before that, I close the P20 tip box. Then after that, I open the buffer. Then I drop up the buffer in first stop. After that, I open the K plus tube. Then I release it until 2 seconds stop and reject the tip into the track. Then I repeat it for K negative tube, A plus tube, and A negative tube. And the first step, and after that, I attract the tube again for PKN R plasmate for K plus tube and K negative tube. And first drop, then I put it into K plus tube, 2 seconds stop, and repeat and reject the tip into the track and repeat it again for K negative tube. second step again. Reject the tip onto the trick, and after that I attract the tip and drop up the micropipette on paraplasmid for A plus tube. For second stop, I reject the tip and I repeat it again for A negative tube. After that, I change the micropipette to 2 nanoliter and attract the tube again and drop out the restriction enzyme in first stop and reduce to K plus tube. For second stop, I reject the tip again and repeat it for K A plus tube. And after that, I attract the tip again and drop out the distilled water for A negative tube and K negative tube. I close the solution tube first, and after that I open the microcentrifuge and put the solute tube into the microcentrifuge. And then I balance it after that I set the timer into 10 seconds, then start the button, close the microcentrifuge and start the button. After it's done, I remove the solder tube into the rack. After that, I open the water pump Put a solid tube into the floating tube rack. And after that, I put the floating tube rack into the water bulb. Close the water bulb first and set the timer into 1 hours. After that, I open the water bath and reject it to remove the floating tube rack. Close it and open the frozen and place the floating tube rack into the freezer. And close the freezer. This is the result.